Welcome back to another episode of the EV Weekly Wrapped. So, as you guys can see, there hasn't been such a massive week this week in the world of EVs, but we do have still quite some news, quite a lot of news, and a lot of it for Australia this week actually. So yeah, Leapmotor, Skoda, Mini, MG, Alpine, Toyota and Lotus. So, let's jump straight into it. Alright, so first off the bat we have the MG4 51 Excite. MG have essentially taken the crown by being the cheapest EV in Australia. So it was the GWM Aura. Now MG have taken the lead. Look at this price here, guys. MY24 drive-away price from $39.90, 10 years warranty on the car. So what do you guys get? This is the entry level, mind you. But even then, 0 to 100 in 7.7 seconds, a range of 350 k's WLTP. You've also got a vehicle to load, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. So, pretty much the cheapest car. It was the GWM Aura, which was, I think, just under $35,000. So they're now undercutting the cost by about another $4,000. Supposedly, they're saying that this offer will be just from September 20th to October 31st. So there's pretty much just over a month in terms of this promotion. And during this time, they're also doing discounts on other models as well. So you can get the long range or the more powerful variants. They have between $5,000 discount on the MY24 models, and then you've also got $8,000 off on the MY23 models as well. So between $5,000 to $8,000 of extra factory bonuses on those other vehicles. But you can get yourself into an EV for just about $31,000. And for context, when I was reading some other news or other media articles, they were saying even a Toyota Corolla hybrid these days is about $37,000. So you'd be nuts for an everyday car to like go to the station, run around car, low maintenance. That looks like a pretty good car. A 10 years warranty as well. Now I'm yet to drive one, so I guess I can't speak on behalf of MG for anything like that. But hopefully we'll get our hands on one soon and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so let's keep moving on. So, Skoda Enyaq. So, next couple of slides is all about Skoda. So, reviews have come out, and look, what can I say? Here's all the details. It says here, where is it? $69,990 before on-road costs for the base or the entry-level Coupe Sportline. Then you've got the Coupe RS, which is just under $84,000 before on-road costs. So, what do you guys get? So, 77 kilowatt-hour battery, 210 and 250 kilowatts. One's rear-wheel drive, one's all-wheel drive. It's about 2.2 to 2.3 tons, 6.7 to 5.4 seconds for the RS model, and you can see they're combined 561 and 530 kilometers. So look, it's not too bad. And in terms of the shape, right? So there's the proper SUV shape, which I'll cover off in a bit, but this one here is, I guess, more of the coupe type styling, similar to, I guess, the Tesla Model Y. But supposedly that other SUV model is coming in roughly about 12 months time. As I said, I'll cover that off in a moment. But in terms of colours, you've got 6 colours that you can see over here, and the hero colour here is the Mamba Green, which is the RS hero colour. So yeah, look, in terms of pricing, they've said that they've aligned the Enyaq Sportline's pricing with the Tesla Model Y long range, which offers more grunt from dual motor all-wheel drive system, but obviously because it's all-wheel drive, it sends more power to both front and rear wheels, which means that you obviously have less range on the WLTP cycle, which is why you see from 561 down to 530. So yeah, the car is available to order now, and apparently deliveries already will be commencing in December 2024. So we'll have to see if we can get our hands on one, and I'll let you guys know what I think. But let's move on to the next bit on Skoda. So, following on the Enyaq news that it's coming, you can see over here, this is a screenshot from one of the car expert websites. Apparently they're not launching with the connected services, but when it comes here, so it's a little bit disappointing to hear. So it says here, on this car, the Enyaq European connectivity features are not available in Australia. We have another solution. We have availability, but I haven't decided about this, but maybe overthinking. So technically, a car is connected to your phone permanently, which means you have traffic, you have maps, you have music streaming, availability of parking spots, and so on. I think the missing piece really is the connectivity of the actual car. So being able to connect to the car when you guys are out. So, you know, locking and unlocking the car as part of connected services, preheating the car, being able to access the car's location, sending directions to the car, you know, all of those things that as a Tesla owner I take for granted. I'm well aware of that, and hopefully they implement a solution soon, because I think it's going to be a critical feature in terms of when people compare features on what you can get for a Tesla Model Y, if that's what they're pitching it up against, versus that. But yeah, now in terms of size, the car here, you can see there's three different colors over here. Apparently Tesla Model Y size, Toyota BZ4X, Hyundai Ioniq 5, they're all kind of similar size cars, and that's what they're pitching it up against. So let's move on to the last bit of the Skoda news. So what we see here is essentially the Skoda Enyaq, but in the SUV form. So I guess these are renders of what it's potentially going to look like. They're saying that it could be on the cards for a local launch in 12 months time. So still a year away. Again, Tesla Model Y size, but just in a different shape with a proper SUV type styling. What do you guys think? Do you guys like it? Do you not? Keen to hear what you guys think. I think it, looking at the front, it kind of actually reminds me, it gives me a little bit of BMW vibes. And then on the back it reminds me of the old Kia Sorento. Obviously the lights here are a bit sharper than the old previous generation Sorento, but kind of gives me that vibe when I think about it. But yeah, that covers it for Skoda, so let's move on to the next one. Alright, Leapmotor C10. Last week I told you guys ADR approved. Now it's definitely confirmed. We've got the first arrival coming in November, and we've got pricing, we've got all the details here. So now this article was published by Car Expert, and they're saying here that a Stellantis spokesperson has confirmed to Car Expert that both C10 variants will be priced below $50,000 before on-road costs. So once you add on-road costs, it might be a little bit just over $50,000, but in the vicinity of $50,000 for a full-size SUV and being EV, that is honestly such a great deal. Now, for context, BYD Atto 3 is priced from about $44,500 to about $47,500 before on-road costs. Tesla Model Y with the price cuts is about just under $56,000 before on-roads costs. So this is going to be potentially about $6,000 less. So yeah, there's not much more information we know in terms of the specific features, but what we do know is here on the screen. So we can see here 69.9 kilowatt hour LFP battery, 420 kilometers WLTP range, 160 kilowatts power, 320 newton meters, rear drive only. Power wise, this kind of reminds me of realistically from the petrol world, Volkswagen GTI. Volkswagen GTI actually has more power than that, but it's thereabouts. So it's roughly 4-cylinder turbocharged power that we're comparing to. In terms of charge rates, not crazy high for both. So max DC 84 kilowatts and max AC 6.6 kilowatts. Now, if you guys are buying one, what they're saying is Leapmotor will give C10 buyers 1 year free charging via ChargeFox network if they take delivery of their vehicle before March 31st, 2025. In terms of warranty, you guys do get 7 years, 160,000 kilometers vehicle warranty, and then 8 years, 160,000 kilometer warranty too. I really like the fact that you can fold these seats down. Now, depending on how old the people are that you'll be driving, you may or may not be able to use it at all. I, for one, I've got kids in kid seats or booster seats, so this will never work for me. But I guess if you think about times like camping, you know, you won't even need to pull out a mattress. You could literally lie flat, so that'd be pretty cool. Either way, decent sized battery, decent range, a bit low on power, but even then seems to be okay. Charging speeds are on the lower end, but I guess still acceptable for everyday use, especially if you are just driving it as a car A to B. You know, you can just trickle charge at home on a granny charger, and yeah, you'll be all good to go. So let me know what you guys think. I think the styling is pretty nice. The back really is Porsche Cayenne vibes. Yeah, it's not much more. Once I find out more specs in terms of the actual details, what type of features the car has, I'll make sure I share it with you guys. Alright, let's jump on to Toyota. So, Toyota BZ3C. So we had the BZ4X. What they're saying now is Japanese giant Toyota, they've actually leaned on BYD to help with their next battery-powered vehicle. So there's potential that we may not see it in Australia, but it is a new Prius-styled electric vehicle, and it's built and sold only in China. And I guess that was previewed originally in the Beijing Motor Show in April, but apparently there's been some government documentation that have been approved to say that these are the new details. And so you can see, like for instance over here, there's cameras here on the back, there's cameras here on the side, on the wing mirror as well, and you can see the front. I believe that might be like a LiDAR, similar to the Polestar 3 that has it as well. So yeah. And other details that we know, it's going to be potentially larger than the RAV4, similar weight to single motor Model Y, and it's got an LFP battery as well. So they're saying that the car will potentially launch before 2025, which means that they've literally got about 3 months, if that is going to come. And as I said, no idea if it's going to come to Australia yet, but that's what that is, and if it does, then I'll be sure to let you guys know. But it's a very odd name, which actually takes me through to the next slide over here. So actually, as you guys know, or you may not know, I've actually recently switched over to a Pixel Fold. So I've given up the iPhone, and I decided to use Google Gemini. So I've got the Pro version now, and I was curious just about naming convention. So just to understand how did Toyota come up with their names? Because BZ4X, BZ3C is just such an odd name to remember, as opposed to like Subaru, they're calling it the Solterra. Anyways, so what you can see here, the BZ stands for Beyond Zero, highlighting Toyota's commitment to going beyond just zero emissions. Number represents the vehicle's size and position in the lineup, i.e. lower numbers are smaller vehicles, higher numbers are larger vehicles, which means that the BZ3C is smaller than the BZ4X. And then you've got the letters that indicate the vehicle's body style. X is crossover, and C could be coupe or compact SUV. Therefore, BZ4X mid-size crossover being the fourth model in the BZ series. BZ3C likely a smaller crossover or a compact SUV, being the third in the series. So there you go. But yeah, it says here also, it's worth noting BZ3C is not yet officially released by Toyota, so exact positioning and meaning might change. But there you guys go, that's essentially how they came up with their name. Alright, let's move on to the next part. So I've got some news on Mini. So Mini EVs, there is a recall. So if you guys have one, please make sure you take a look. You click on the recall number, check if your VIN is impacted, and if it is, then obviously contact BMW or Mini and then get it sorted. But there's essentially at the top here 1,408 units impacted between 2020 to 2023, and it's the Mini Cooper SE that we're referring to. The issue itself at hand is high voltage battery management software has insufficient protections for short circuit events. As a result, if a short circuit occurs, it could lead to a fire whilst being driven or parked. So there you guys go, make sure you check that out. Now on to the next one, we've still got more Mini news. So Mini John Cooper Works Cooper and Aceman EV. So JCW is essentially, I guess, the sports or the racing side of Mini Cooper, which is John Cooper Works, and they're usually like the tuner division, similar to how, for example, Mercedes has AMG. And so basically what they're saying here is Mini is getting ready for the first production version of the JCW electric models. There is no specific specs announced yet for all the finer details. What we do know is that it's rumored to have 190 kilowatts based on a 51.5 kilowatt hour battery. So 190 kilowatts is actually about 30 kilowatts above the current Mini Cooper SE. And the Mini Cooper SE does have about 452 kilometers on China's testing cycle, CLTC, which means that if this is the performance version and it's got 30 kilowatts more, we would expect less range than 452. And yeah, we don't know how many seats yet, but they did say that in China the 3-door version of the Mini is a 4-seater, whereas the Aceman is a 5-seater. But basically the differences between the Cooper and the Aceman are actually just the doors. Most of it really is the same. I mean, there's a bit of headlight difference, as you can see. That's more sharper straight lines compared to the round ones here for the Mini Cooper. And the Aceman here you can see 4 doors versus just 2 doors over here. So yeah, that's essentially it for Mini. Alright, Alpine or Renault. So, there has been the new crossover essentially spotted. It is one of the targets is the Porsche Macan in terms of its rivals. So it's supposed to be coming in 2025. So officially called the Alpine A390. It's a mid-sized SUV, speculation between 300 to 450 kilowatts based on, I guess, a different variation. So potentially just rear-wheel drive versus the dual motor all-wheel drive and the performance versions. And they're saying it's got up to 600 kilometers range. There's no other information yet, but yeah, all those stats are essentially all speculation. And whilst the car doesn't have much details confirmed, all signs do point to that being the next Alpine A390. But let's jump over to another awesome looking car. This one, the Lotus Theory 1 concept. So supposedly it's a two-door sports car with 987 horsepower. I've done the conversions here for metrics for us Australians. So 987 horsepower is roughly 736 kilowatts. You've got 3,500 pounds, which is 1,588 kilograms, 70 kilowatt hour battery. Now, to give you guys, I guess, comparison to what else weighs around 1,588 kilograms, Porsche's 718 Cayman GT4 RS, BMW M2, Toyota GR86, Subaru BRZ, those types of, I guess, sports cars. Or if you actually wanted to just bring it back to everyday cars, a Toyota Camry is also about 1,588 kilos. And a BYD Atto 3, the little SUV, or the small SUV, for comparison, that is 1,640 kilograms. So that hopefully gives you guys the comparison on how amazingly light this car actually is. So this car, I guess in terms of the design, was inspired by the Lotus Esprit. So Lotus Esprit was a car, I guess, in the late 1980s, early 1990s off the top of my head. There was a V6 version and it just looked like a really sleek car. The really interesting thing with this one though is that this car is a 3-seater, similar to the McLaren F1. However, the seats aren't one in the middle and then two behind you. It's actually one in the middle that you guys can see over here, and it's actually two beside you, but just a little bit further behind. So you can see, you can just make it out that this is the right side where your right leg would be leaning against. But left side here, this is where you'd be, your whole body would be sitting, your headrest here, and then here's the passenger 1, and then the passenger 2 is over here. What do you guys think? There is absolutely no other details yet besides what you can see here. It is a concept car, but I hope something like this comes back because I really loved the shape of the Lotus Esprit back in the days, and Lotus seem to be bringing some pretty cool designed cars. But hopefully they are amazing cars, and hopefully we'll get to see these in the flesh one day. But that's all we have. I don't have any pricing, I don't have anything else. That's literally all we have. So I'll keep you guys posted once we hear of anything more. And let's jump on to some quick social media update before we wrap up. So Australia has finally had its first, or its 100th supercharger site. So it was in Glenelg in South Australia, and yeah, it was painted green. So that was, I guess, signifying the milestone. I was saying that I thought it'd be pretty cool if that was glowing a dark green as opposed to this really dark green. But funny enough, that this green is actually similar shade to the background that I've got here. And it did note a little 100 mark down here for the 100th site to celebrate that. So I thought that was pretty cool. Next piece of news. Hyundai and General Motors, or GM, have signed a Memorandum of Understanding, which is an MOU, and it's to explore potential collaboration in development and manufacturing of vehicles. So the partnership could involve a broad range of projects, including gas or electric vehicles, passenger and commercial vehicles, hydrogen technology, and shared resources like steel, battery, and raw materials. So it's very odd. I definitely did not see that one coming between Hyundai and GM, but look, who knows what the future holds. It'd be interesting to see what they actually come up with and how this actually eventuates. And the last one over here I thought was quite interesting too, and this is purely from a SUV side, right? So basically you can see here Tesla Model Y ranked number 1, and this is between January to August year to date, which is here 292,000 cars, 245 is the next one, so almost 50,000, so 47,000 more than the next competitor. But you can see basically besides the Tesla Model Y, the next three are all BYDs. So competition is definitely heavy. Kudos to Tesla for remaining as number one from an SUV standpoint. I do wonder where the Model 3 sits in comparison, so I don't have any of those stats, but if I do find out, I'll make sure I let you guys know. But from an SUV side of things, in China, Model Y still seems to be ranked number one. And that's the end of it. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. We are so close to that 1,000 mark, so if you guys haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. It is going to help my channel go a really long way. And yeah, hope you guys are well. We'll be returning to more content on my new car really soon, so yeah, stay tuned for more content, and we'll see you next time.